True Silver Champion taking out the Fierce Monkey means Jasonzhou is going to have to find some new offense here. He has Crocon Elite, and that can do a lot of damage, especially if Hamster is forced to use the True Silver Champion and get rid of it. And we'll just use Ravaging Ghoul into the N'Zoth's first mate. We see Jason's plan of trying to use the charges of his War Axe here, wants to get maximum damage out of each of these cards.
And he also knows that he needs to maximize damage. He's playing aggressively. He knows that the healing is not going to come forward very often. Here's that turn 5 play that we talked about. Hamster only runs 1 copy of Forbidden Healing, and the next healing is in his deck is 8 drops.
He does have the Ivory Knights.
Ivory Knights as well.
Those can potentially buy him some time, but Jason is going to use that Blackwing Corruptor, take out the Murloc, and there's just the N'Zoth's first mate and the Rusty Hook going to face. That all adds up, though. Hamster's already down to 15 life. It's just turn 5. We're pushing 2.
And lay on hands in the hand for Hamster.
Barnes gonna need to get a big show on the road for Hamster here. Ooh, it is Ivory Knight, but no Battle Cry when it comes into play off the Barnes. Just gonna get a 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, Barnes has a lot of great targets in this matchup. It's got Ragnaros, Light Lord, Tyrant Forging, any of the Death Throttle minions. Also, any of the Murlocs are also great to get from Ivory Knight because that's an extra Murloc that you summon with the Anything Can Happen. Ivory Knight, though, is not one of those. And Hamster is going to take yet another beating.
Yeah, the Crocon Elite gonna charge in. Lots of damage. He could potentially play the Frothing and try and hold the Crocon for later. He's got to recognize what his windows of opportunity are. Moving into turn 8 is when he could potentially get blocked by Tyrant Forging. So he wants to ensure here that he gets the maximum kills here with his minions, pumping up this Frothing. Still has access to that Crocon next turn. Ooh, Equality, though, is the draw for Hamster. Not really a board that you necessarily want to have to use Equality Consecration on, but already it's just a huge threat. He's going to use Consecration alone and trade off Barnes. So he's able to save the Equality. He could potentially use that with his Silverhand Recruits or possibly draw another Consecration or a Wild Pyromancer later, but just at 12 life, we've seen a lot of Ragnaros in this match so far. Looks like he may be waiting in the wings, make another showing next turn.
And look at this, Hamster is more than likely going to lay on hands because it's the only play that he has open to him, which opens up a free board for Jasonzhou. He's going to negate that 8 health that Hamster's going to gain and also develop Ragnaros as a threat. So Hamster needs an Equality Activator here, and he's already used one.
So many expensive cards picked up for Hamster. We've seen Anything Can Happen just rotting in his hand so many times. And Ragnaros comes down. This is not looking good for Hamster. He's down to just 8 life facing Ragnaros. He needs a way to clear this board off. If that has Equality, it's Pyromancer. He's still in the game.
He absolutely needed that Pyromancer draw, and this is actually great sequencing.
Yeah, he's able to play the Equality first, then Pyromancer plus Forbidden Healing. That triggers the Pyromancer and keeps the Pyromancer in play. So it's still there, potentially able to combo with his remaining Equality in his hand.
That's something that even the highest level of pro players still don't do in some of the most important matches in the world. So it's a small thing, but take notes, people, that's how you do it.
But Jason keeping the pressure on, able to get that. Oh, another Pyromancer, though. Hamster finds exactly what he needs it, exactly when he needs it here.
But, I mean, he's still not out of the woods yet.
Not at all.
He can try and fish for something with Ivory Knight. He can use Equality Consecration combo now, Equality while Pyromancer coming out on Ivory Knight with his full mana. But these Anything Can Happen are still going to sit dead in his hand. He's only
so weak.
2 Murlocs. But if he plays the first Anything Can Happen, there will then be 4 Murlocs for the second one to summon.
It is worth noting that against this Control Warrior deck, this Dragon Warrior deck, he doesn't need the super powerful Anything Can Happen that you sometimes need against Controller. He's actually just going to go and use this as a singleton removal. So he's setting up for the next Anyfin, recognizing, okay, if, say, Jason plays a Grom Hellscream, I need to have something to clear the board. And this is allowing those Anyfins to just be removal. The next one is going to produce 2 Bluegills, which that's 2 removal spells.
Yeah, and I mean, Jason is drawing into a lot of damage, but there are recovery tools still left for Hamster. He's got Ivory Knight, which can heal him for up to 10. And if he's able to pick up a third Anything Can Happen with Ivory Knight, He could be in a position where he could, change the course of the game and start being the aggressor in this matchup. Jasonzhou really has to try and, be efficient with this damage. I like developing the Fairy Dragging and removing the Murloc War Leader off the board now that he's seen the one anything.
Yeah, and Hamster here, he has some tools. There's Sylvanas. He's too far behind to use the Sylvanas this turn unless he just goes with the Pyro quality into Sylvanas. Still a little bit scary. He's sitting at just 10 life. But Sylvanas does make that N'Zoth a lot more appealing later on.
Yeah, it's a very scary moment because if Jasonzhou has a big drop, a big minion in his hand, it's going to be really tough. He's got Grom Hellscream still left in his deck. He's got Deathwing still left in his deck. So he's going to go with the Ivory Knight instead. He's going to take the risk this turn. Picks up a Hammer of Wrath. So not the biggest heal, but it is a tool that's going to help him draw cards.
And Hammer is valuable, though. It can allow him to remove this minion without having to trade. The Blood to Ichor might look weak for Jason, but it does open up the possibility of Grom. Gives him the enabler for Grom Hellscream that can just end the game, 10 damage, and that's exactly what Hamster's at.
And we've seen Jason find lethal in some crazy situations. We saw the Doomguard earlier. We saw the Moonfire in the last game. Can he do it again with Grom Hellscream in this game?
And playing the Sylvanas here rather than anything can happen means that Jason doesn't have the opportunity to draw Deathwing as an out. The Deathwing, because of the Sylvanas on the board, would just give Deathwing to Hamster. It would.
You're discarding all your cards and giving your opponent a 12-12.
It's kind of rough, a little bit rough.
Not the most ideal situation.
Ragnaros, the White Lord. Ragnaros is going to potentially keep him out of range. He's not going to trade this turn because he wants the 8 life from the Light Lord. Ragnaros Light Lord bring him up to 18, out of range of Grom Hellscream. There's no single card Jason can have this turn. He's even out of range of that Crusher giving big, and there it is. Hamster gets the win, getting back in the series.